October 31st video update. Recording and producing 360-degree videos is my latest obsession, and so I thought it was appropriate to record this episode of video updates using my new Insta360 One camera, which is a consumer-level 360-degree camera. It's a whole new form factor for me, and I'm using the built-in mic, so I'm going to stay sort of close to the camera. The whole getting used to this whole 360 video recording is quite a feat. It is a completely different way of both looking at the recording of video and also viewing the video. Now what you're seeing now is a video I recorded with this camera, which I could have produced in a 360 format so that you could use your finger on a mobile device or your mouse on a computer and scroll around. You could see what I see on the other side of the camera. So the camera actually consists of two lenses. This particular camera consists of two lenses that each shoot a 180-degree field of view to give you a whole 360. So I can move around like this, and I'm going to still be in the frame if you scroll with me, or if as I've done in this, and I can't remember the name, I'll put it on the screen, but it is a feature that Insta360, which is a company in China that makes this camera and makes several others, includes in the software for the app for this particular model, and it allows me after the fact to create a standard video, which is what you're looking at right now. And so I can follow myself around, and that's the way it's recorded. I'm basically re-recording the video. Now I'm on the other side of where I was before. You can see the plants that are over here. So if I go back over here, you can see the neighbor's house over there and the street. But I'm going to also upload a version of this that's in the 360 mode, so you can see how that is. So that's basically how these things work. And I'll tell you, it took some time even getting used to that, and I'm far from understanding or really having a good feel for it. I mean, you tend to, even with it, you don't use like a regular camera. You don't hold it in front of your face and take a picture, or even take a panorama with your iPhone and move around. The camera is just capturing everything. You don't have to move it at all. So your tendency is, if you put it on a selfie, it's on a selfie stick right now. It's a selfie stick with a tripod bottom. But if I have it on a selfie stick and I'm carrying it, I don't have to move it. You know, you don't have to turn around like this so that you get the 360. The camera's already getting that. And even if the camera is tilted like that, it's stabilizing and giving you a straight picture. Or it's possible to write the picture so it looks straight. Even handling this camera is a whole new learning process to not do what you're used to doing as a photographer or a videographer. It's also a challenge, or it has been a challenge for me at least, in what do you do with the videos or the photos, because this would take single shot photos as well. What do you do with those videos after the fact? How do you make them so they're viewable? It's kind of like RAW was back in the 2006, 2007. It was a new. It wasn't new because cameras always took RAW photos, but they processed them. So it was kind of new that we actually had access to those RAW photos and could edit them, and it's almost like taking the picture over again, just like with what I described here. And initially, first decade of the 2000s, there wasn't a lot of software that could handle RAW photos. And it's the same, I'm seeing it's sort of the same with 360 video and 360 photos. They've been around for a while, people, but this is, we know it also in the form of virtual reality or VR. 360 photos are part of that process of creating virtual reality environments. So your standard video editing programs don't necessarily support 360 editing. Adobe Premiere apparently does. I don't use Adobe Premiere, but apparently it's one that does have a lot of sophisticated 360 video features. And Final Cut Pro 10, or X, I understand also now supports 360 editing with the addition of some 360 toolkit features. So that's good. Surprisingly and quite happily, LumaFusion, the video editing app for iOS, which I love, also will let you edit 360 video. As far as adding other audio tracks or cutting clips, as I will do with this, it lets you edit that type of video to create a final video that will actually, if directly uploaded to Facebook, for example, from LumaFusion itself, it will render itself as, because Facebook recognizes the metadata that's in the file, it will render it as a 360 viewable video. Sometimes you have to actually add that metadata back in after the process, which is something I'll go into in a future episode. There's a great editor that's free, at least it's free right now, called VEER, VR editor from China. That is excellent, really, somewhat basic right now, but it does allow you to tie clips together and make them shorter or longer. It doesn't let you cut the clips, and it also lets you add another audio track. So that's nice, and it'll let you add some titles and text to your 360 video. So that's good. So these software applications or apps will mature with time, and that'll make it easier and better for all of us. So why do I care about this stuff? Why did I get interested in it? I was watching some, well, actually I'll blame it on Mike Benning, a friend of mine on Facebook. He was publishing some photos, and I was curious about it, and then he told me about this new camera coming out, so I ordered one, and I also started then doing some more research on it, and what I found were videos that people had done on YouTube where they were interviewing someone. And in one in particular, there was one guy interviewing a young lady in Sydney, Australia at the harbor. And while she's talking about the harbor, you can scroll around, you can see the Opera House, you can see what she's talking about. And I thought, whoa, that's kind of cool. So really, my two basic reasons for being interested in this technology, this particular format of video, is to create on-site travel videos or photos. So if, for example, you're at the Louvre, with the glass pyramid, you can just set the camera down as I've done right and let it run, and you walk away. And so what you end up with is being able to provide the opportunity for people who can't go to Paris to see the Louvre, the outside of the Louvre, you give them the opportunity to actually experience and kind of walk around just as you did when you were there. Or pick any major tourist site. You can do this sort of thing, and so that's one thing. On our trips, I hope to be able to use this. But secondly, I hope to use it to help me in creating instructional videos. So as I'm out here in the yard and choosing my settings for a camera shoot, then I'll be recording it in 360, and the person who's watching it can kind of follow me around. Or maybe it'll end up being better to make videos as I'm doing with this one, where I'm choosing where you're going to look, but I have at my fingertips after the fact the ability to move the viewer's point of view around. And so those are my hopes. But for right now, I appreciate your having checked in, and I'll look forward to seeing you then. Goodbye.